Doug and I spend a lot of time talking to business owners, and what we're discovering is that there's a pattern in the kind of mistakes they're making in their marketing. So we'd like to share some of them with you.
Probably one of the first things that we talk about is something called shotgun marketing. And what that is people just tend to have one marketing campaign and they send it out to everybody that they think might listen to it. And that's a problem because the reality is that there's a very specific public that you're trying to reach with each and individual product or service that you have.
Right. The things that I like are not the things that you like. I want to hear a different message than you do. And
Exactly.
if you're just trying to throw the message and get to everybody, it's not going to work. The next common mistake that we see is media strategy. A lot of business owners are not figuring out what platforms their audience is on. So if you have an older audience, they're probably not online a lot. You're going to want to employ a lot more traditional marketing methods in order to kind of reach that audience. Facebook is a really common platform, but people are on it for personal reasons most of the time. So you have to kind of take that into account. We have one client that does postcards, and it's how they reach most of their people.
Well, and the key thing about that is if you have multiple products or services, the reality is you've got to have different campaigns for each one because those particular people may be on different platforms. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's key. The next one that I think we find often is the fact that they're not measuring their marketing.
Right. So how do they know if it's working?
Yeah. And, I think Peter Drucker's the guy that said if you can't measure it, you can't manage it.
Right.
And so many times people are going, well, I don't know if I'm getting a decent ROI on my investment. And the reality is the reason they don't know that is because they don't have those tools and understand how they can measure it. There isn't any campaign I can think of in marketing that cannot be measured and needs to be measured.
Right, and that's just a matter of implementing tools and analytics and really figuring out, sometimes it's a matter of phone numbers, different phone numbers that are tracking, or different websites, or whatever it needs to be. You do need to measure your marketing if you're going to find out if it's successful or not.
Exactly.
Another really common one we see is that people are jumping to the implementation of their marketing before they actually have a plan. So, business owners are often talking to us about video. We need video. I heard from my friend that we need some video. And sure, they could probably use video and it will probably be great if they have a plan for it. If they're just going out and making a beautiful video but have nowhere that they're going to put it and they have no agenda with it, it's not actually going to do anything for them. It might make them look pretty good, but for the most part, you need to have a plan for your social media, for your traditional marketing, for anything you're doing. You need to have a purpose behind it.
Well, as a matter of fact, I remember a story that one of our video people that we work with closely told us. Do you remember that where he was talking about he was working with a fellow that had a lot of money, he wanted to have this video, and he goes, great. He says, so show me the plan. What are you wanting to accomplish with this? And he goes, there was nothing. And
just one video.
It's this whole concept of here's all of these Navy SEALs or whomever, the Marines are landing in Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. They get off the helicopter. They've got everything ready to go, and they look at each other and go, who's got the plan?
Right.
And nobody has the plan because the general didn't give it to them.
Right.
So that becomes the whole key is they need to have that marketing plan written, outlined so that when they hand that to that tactical team to implement it, that tactical team now knows exactly the direction they need to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another common mistake that business owners are making is that they're not narrowing down their message. So when you have a product for somebody, whether that's a service, whether that's an actual retail thing, your clients are going to want to hear something very specific, and you need to find out what that is. So we talked earlier about shotgun marketing versus target marketing, and narrowing your message is exactly that. You need to target who your audience is, find out what they want, and then tell them that.
Well, in fact, I have a fellow on my radio show a couple of weeks ago, and it was really interesting what he said. He talked about the fact that when those people see that message, they need to have the feeling that literally, that's me. That's me. They have a solution. And that's all about that message in so many respects.
Right. And one of the key points in making that happen is eliciting an emotional response. If you need to find a pain point for your client so that when they interact with you, you're their savior. You can fix whatever that pain point is. And it's generally more successful if you do it in a positive way, but that emotional response is really key.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, one more that I think is really important. Think about this. You get these new clients coming in or these new customers coming in because literally you've got this incredible campaign going. And they come in. Now, once they leave, they either have had an incredible experience or they have had a really bad experience. And depending on what you have created for them, depends on whether they're ever going to come back and whether they're going to refer people. So there's a whole concept of an internal marketing, customer retention type of plan, where you literally give them such an amazing experience and then you continue on to maintain some type of relationship with them so that you remain top of mind awareness with them. Every time someone says to them, hey, do you know someone that, boom, 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 which is what you do, basically they go, yeah, I know exactly who you should call.
Right. And that can look a couple different ways. It can be an email marketing drip campaign. It can be postcards. It can just be really good customer service. It can kind of be a spectrum of things. As long as your clients feel good when they're interacting with your company, they will come back.
Absolutely. So those are some things that we find are consistently not existing in the companies that we work with, and those are hopefully some hints that will help you.
If any of these points that we just made are resonating with you, we'd love to chat with you. You're welcome to schedule a free discovery session with us, and we'd love to chat.
Absolutely.